in the midst of these that were there, they needed some direction. They needed some perception. They needed to know who they were. And that's why he was there, to fulfill his assignment, because had he not, it would have ended right. He would have lost. And sometimes we got to come out of our areas that we think that is so comfortable. We got to get out of the area and reach out to those who are standing in the need of something. Amen. That's what Jesus did. He wasn't in no big hurry to get up out of here. For he stayed for a little while. Yes, Lord. And if you're going to be effective in the 21st century, you got to do some things that you just don't want to do. Amen. You got to do the things that are required of you to do as a Christian. It's always easy to find somebody in the community that needs a helping hand. It's always somebody in the community that needs a ride somewhere. Some folk need to go to the doctor. Some folk don't have food in the cabinet to eat. Some folk just need a kind word that's coming from a Christian who's got compassion and care about other folk. This is what Jesus was getting them to see. It's important for you to know what your assignment is. See, some folk in the church don't know what they need for. Everybody don't think the same. Some folk in the church think that their job is high and lofty. Be it not so. Sometimes you got to start at the bottom in order to work your way to the top. You can't expect to be compensated at a high rate when you're operating at a low rate. All right. Too many folk think the grandeur of a high lofty paying job is where it's at. But it's a whole lot to go along with it. That's some screw. And you will be under the public eye. In the church, you're more under the public eye than you are in the street. Y'all get that? We need more outdoor disciples in the church. We need some folk that want to take some small signs. Because if you do well at something small, the greater the assignment, the better you will do. Because the test of time will prove that you're able to withstand the wiles of the devil. Yes. Especially in the church. See, your assignment has a lot to do with how you excel in this life. So now, I'm reminded of a poem that I read. It says that if you cannot be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the back. But be the national scrub that sits beside the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail that leads you somewhere. If you can't be a sun, be a star. If you can't be the sun, be the star. Everybody knows what a star is, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't by size you win or you fail. Be the best at what you are. When you think about it, be the best at what you are. Everybody can sing. Everybody can preach. Everybody can be a deacon. Everybody can be a trustee. You have got to have some things going on in order to fulfill your position. Everybody is not suited to be a teacher. Some people are not able to teach because they cannot be food, and I'm thinking about soul food. Soul food. Yeah, that's what he went and sat down to, some soul food. That's what he was getting. Soul food. It wasn't natural food, like chicken and dumplings and fried pork chops and collard greens and cornbread and dressing and turkey. This was soul food that would enter into your heart, and it would sell your body to the degree that you had a desire to do just what God said do. It was not the type of food that you ate and gave your stomach cramps. This was the type of food, and it was dinner going in, but after it got there, it was oh so sweet. Once it got down inside of it, I'm talking about a food that Jesus served, and he didn't have to have no plates, for all he had to do was speak in a tone in which it would be received by the brain. Every time I go somewhere, it was such pain, but the first thing I look for soul food fast. And just like when we went to Louisiana, who we was desperate for Popeye chicken. We wanted chicken. But the food, the menu that was here on this table, this was not the first time that Jesus had broken bread and served it to the disciples. This was the second time. But he was making sure that they knew what was the difference between the two suppers. The first supper, the last supper, was he was letting them know what was going to happen to him. Yes, Lord. The first supper after the resurrection was what he was letting them know that was going to happen to them. So as he let them know, look here, there's some folk out there, when you acknowledge the fact that you know me and you know the Father, you are going to be ridiculed. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be beat. You're going to be scorned. And then all of a sudden, this man, their eyes was open. Then we know that was Jesus. Amen. That was Jesus. And once your eyes become open, you are a victim of a big new possession. You are a victim of your peers. You are a victim of yourself. Because our biggest enemy is ourselves. Because we beat up on ourselves when we don't have to. We do things to others that we don't have to. But Jesus was letting them know this is what's going to happen. These guys need to be fortified. As do we. We need fortification for the simple fact that we can't take care of this stuff ourselves. All right. We can't do it. I don't care how much that you study, you know. Right. But when the time of tribulation comes, you either got to get right with God, get on your knees. You have got to put on the whole armor of God. It ain't about your job. It ain't about how much money you make. It's not about what you do in the community. It's what you are in the eyesight of God. That's what Jesus was telling you. We are so messed up. We live in a broken society. The world wants you to be broken. When you look at the federal government, we're living in a broken time. The government is breaking down. It's ushering things in on our lives that we don't deserve. We don't deserve, but we get it anyhow. In a nation where sin is running rampant, that's the next thing to heroin. Sin. Sin. It is outstroking heroin because sin was the first thing that caused man to downfall. But everything Don't make no difference who you are. And the better you try to be with God, the more you're going to get bombarded from Satan. And I found out, and I said, you know what? You might be broken, but you are still blessed. You are blessed in your brokenness. And I have found out that when you are at your lowest,